What if one platform covered everything from idea to market-ready product? A platform teaching all the AI tech and practices needed for successful AI-driven startups.
This is like AI imagination.
We found that the more specific we are.
We used a classifier, we trained the classifier.
I really wanted it to just be more open-ended for the user.
We were experimenting with different chunk sizes.
Having some problems to something.
By blending cutting-edge technologies from industry giants, you can create revolutionary AI products that drive innovation forward.
This was a special hack, it was a battle.
Let the hacking begin.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the official kickoff for Llama 3 Hackathon. I hope you're excited and ready because today, 19th of July, we start an intensive 2-day challenge. And I'm sure this is going to be an amazing event because over 7,000 people enrolled for this hackathon. And that sounds quite impressive, right? You can call me Jay, and today I'm going to be your host. I'm here to tell you about the event schedule, about the challenge and the judging criteria, as well as to give you some tips on how to create or join the team and how to successfully submit your project. Let me start with the warm welcome to our Lablab community in the chat. Please let me know you're here. In the meantime, we will be monitoring the chat, so please stay active. Don't hesitate to ask questions or just simply let us know how are you feeling today. Moving on to the event schedule. Llama 3 Hackathon will take 48 hours, and the deadline for the submissions is planned for 6 p.m. Central European Time, 21st of July. And before that time, all the deliverables need to be submitted on our platform. During this stream, except for the introduction, we have an exciting agenda for you. Guests from Llama Index, Together AI, Zillis, Lablab.ai, and Lablab Next came here especially for you to tell you about their initiatives and their part in this hackathon. So this will be your chance to ask questions as well. Later on, we prepared for you a short workshop by Fabian Stelle, one of New Native's developers, who will give you a GitHub guide for beginners. And at the end of the stream at 7:30, we will start the Q&A session on Lablab Discord channel. And because we have quite a few guests today, I would like you to mention at the beginning of your question, who are you referring to? That will make it easier for me to direct question to the right person. Without further ado, I would like to ask Simon Olson, the CEO and co-founder of New Native, to tell you a few words about Lablab.ai.
Thank you, Jay. First and foremost, we're very excited to have this event, which I actually believe is the largest event we've ever run. So we're super excited about that, and also super excited about the short timeline of it. Me particularly love the short timelines because it's under pressure where diamonds are formed. And I'm really looking forward to see what kind of applications will emerge from this hackathon. And also, obviously, a very big special thanks for Llama Index, Together AI, and Zillis to be a part of this event and sponsor us with gear, cash prizes, and credits. We're very thankful to have such great partners. A couple of words about New Native and Lablab.ai and Lablab Next. We formed this from our own small little community about 2 years ago. We started with just building technology. We were all about trying to push the limits of what you can create in short amounts of times, and have ever since built up to larger and larger events with more and more people. And today we're super proud to say that we're more than 140,000 people in this community that we've been amazed by for the last 2 years in terms of their proclivity and ingenuity building new things. What we are trying to do is democratize access to the AI economy, democratize access to technology, and make it available to a point where literally anybody can become a developer. And we've been working very hard on that for the last couple of years. And it's together with partners such as Llama Index together and so as that we are able to do that and pushing this further across the world. So with that, I hope that you will enjoy our event. I am certainly gonna watch out for some really cool applications being built. And you know, you never know, I might even participate and try to win some of that swag. I never actually managed to win though, but hopefully someday. But yeah, a very warm welcome, and I hope to. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're building.
Thank you so much for such an inspiring words. And now, I think there's no better person to tell us more about our amazing Lablab Next Accelerator and what you can achieve with it than the Global Head of Accelerators, Jens Ingolstedt. Welcome, Jens. It's great to see you here. Please do the honors.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm joining you from a garden in the south of Sweden. The sun is shining.
We can't hear you, Jens.
Oh, you can't hear me?
No, I can hear him.
Okay, good. So I'm also super excited to see what you will be building because I represent an initiative internally which we call Next, which is basically, as the word says, the next stage. So you start off with this hackathon. We're going to judge and we're going to look closely at what you're building. And then if you want to continue building after the hackathon, if you win the hackathon, or regardless if you win or not, if you want to continue, we have a program called Lablab Next, which is a prototype to MVP accelerator for global top AI startups. So the plan is to kick off with a program starting in roughly 5 weeks. It's a digital program for 6 weeks where we select 10 teams. Some of those teams will be coming from the hackathons that we have been running, and potentially one lucky team will be selected from this hackathon as well. These teams will get lots and lots of support from us and our partners, and they also get a soft commitment for their upcoming fundraise, which will simplify that fundraising. We already have a lot of great confirmed partners. These are some of them that will be quite heavily involved in the program. Applications are currently open. After this hackathon has finished, we will look through all the submissions, but you can also submit yourself on the homepage, and you can read more here on the homepage as well. We also have another program starting already in October, which most likely will have 30 companies participating. So we're also utilizing a lot of AI internally. So I'm safe to say that it's the most automated accelerator program in the world currently. So we're trying to live as we preach. And we love AI and we love technology. So please get in touch. We're happy to support you in any shape, way, or form, and just connect with you. And if you know other partners or mentors or other startups that want to be part of this initiative, please get in touch. Thank you very, very much.
Yes, thank you so much for that. From my side, I would like to say that I hope that this hackathon will bring to life some outstanding projects, and that you will find talents that will grow up their new startups in the nearest future. Let's check if there are any questions for Jens in the chat. I don't think so, but just please drop the questions if you have. And now I would like to welcome our next guest, Laurie Voss, VP of Developer Relations in Llama Index. Hello, Laurie. The stage is yours.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the introduction. I'm really happy to be here. I'm assuming everybody can see and hear me, so I'm just going to share some slides. There we go. So, as Jay said, I'm VP of Developer Relations at Llama Index. In a former life, I co-founded NPM Inc., so some of you may know me from then. These days, instead of JavaScript, I'm talking about AI. Today, I'm going to quickly introduce you to Llama Index, and in particular, its agentic capabilities. I'm going to talk about what it is, why you should use it, and what it can do for you, including retrieval augmented generation, world-class document parsing, structured data extraction, and most importantly, autonomous agents. So what is Llama Index? It is a bunch of things. Let's start with the most obvious. We are a framework in both Python and TypeScript that helps you build generative AI applications. The Python framework is older and bigger, and the TypeScript framework is growing fast. Both are obviously open source and free to use. But that's not all that we do. Llama Parse is a service from Llama Index that will parse complicated documents in any format into a form that can be understood by an LLM. This is critical for a lot of Gen AI applications, because if your LLM can't understand what it's reading, you'll get nonsense results. Llama Parse will demonstrably improve what your app can do by understanding complicated things, like PDFs, Word documents, Excel sheets, any kind of complicated document format you can think of. Llama Parse is also free to use for 1,000 pages a day, and you can sign up today at cloud.llamaindex.ai. Then there's Llama Cloud, our enterprise service. If what you want to do is stuff documents in one end and run retrieval augmented generation on the other end without having to think about the stuff in the middle, this is the service for you. For the purpose of this hackathon, it's also free if you follow the steps on this slide, but in general, it costs money. And then there's Llama Hub, which is our registry of helper software. Everything is called Llama something. Need to connect to any database in the world? We got you. You want to get your data out of Notion or Slack or Salesforce? No problem. Need to store your data in a vector store? We support all of them. Want to use OpenAI or Mistral or Anthropic or some other LLM? We support over 30 different LLMs, including local ones like Llama 3. You want to build an agent and get some pre-built tools to do that? We have dozens of agent tools already built for you. So why should you use Llama Index? Because we will help you go faster. You're at a hackathon and you have 48 hours, so you have limited time. You have actual business and technology problems to solve, so don't get stuck figuring out the basics. We have solved a bunch of the foundational problems for you, so you can focus on being novel and interesting. Our focus as a platform is getting you into production and delivering actual business value. So let's talk about what this framework can actually do for you. I mentioned retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, the basics of which I'm going to assume you already know. If not, this link in this slide will take you to a quick explanation in our docs. There are a bunch of steps in a RAG application. First, you need to get your data from somewhere, whether it's your file system, a database, or an API. Our connectors will do all of that for you and turn them into compatible document objects. You don't need to figure out how to make them interoperable. The next step is parsing. We have a bunch of built-in parsers, but the real secret weapon is Llama Parse. It's going to take documents your LLM can't understand, like Word docs, PDFs, PowerPoints, Excel sheets, and turn them into data that you can actually use. So don't sleep on the opportunity to get it involved. Next, you have to embed your data. You can use third-party APIs like OpenAI to do this, or we can use local embedding models downloaded from Hugging Face. We provide a simple one-liner to do this. Don't worry about these code samples, by the way. You're going to get these slides and all of this code at the end. Once your data is embedded, you have to store it in a vector database. We integrate with every vector database that exists, so you don't need to learn all the different APIs. We take care of that for you. And to use your embedded data, you need to be able to retrieve against it. Llama Index will embed your query, find relevant chunks in your vector store, and return those chunks. You can then do all sorts of stuff to those chunks, like applying a re-ranker to further improve relevance. Your retriever is totally customizable. And then usually what you want to do with the relevant chunks of data you've retrieved is send them to an LLM along with your query. There's lots of ways to do this, and we do all of them. We'll give you a query engine, and we'll take care of it for you. And of course, we don't just do this stuff for text. We can do it for images as well. You can embed image data, query it by other images, and retrieve relevant images. If what you want to do is create a chatbot that talks to some documents, please, please, please don't build a chatbot from scratch. We have a one-liner called Create Llama. Just npx create llama, and that will create a full stack chatbot application for you. It's extremely customizable and is a great starting point to building a full-featured and useful chatbot. By the way, if what you want to do is create a bot that chats with you in Slack, you've got one of those pre-built as well, so you don't have to do all the tedious figuring out of how Slack's APIs work. But I said at the start that we're going to be focusing on agents, because you're not just going to build a RAG app. RAG is going to be part of the story, but you're going to want to produce better results than plain RAG, and they can do more than just answer queries. They can use tools to perform actions. Llama Index has first-class support for agents. Tools are central to how agents work, and in Llama Index, that's how you create an agent. In this example, I'm creating an agent from an arbitrary Python function. You give those tools to an LLM, and it figures out how to use those tools to answer your question. But of course, your tools don't have to be functions. They can also be query engines. All that effort that we just put into making RAG pipelines is super useful when making an agent that can query data and not just perform actions. A demo that I put together last week, which is fun and pretty relevant, is a multi-agent concierge. There's one agent that knows how to authenticate you, another that knows how to check your bank balance, but it can only do that if you're authenticated, and another one that knows how to transfer money, but it can only do that if you're authenticated and you've checked your bank balance. The key to this system is the orchestration agent, which is an LLM under the hood. It works to decide which agent should answer your query. Sometimes these agents need to work in concert, like requiring authentication before you can check your balance. And in that case, the orchestrator sends you to the authentication agent. And once the authentication agent says you're authenticated, another agent called the continuation agent looks at your chat history and decides what you were trying to do originally and sends you to the next agent, the balance checker. This is a really fun and useful pattern when creating a multi-agent system. We also recently released a new framework called Llama Agents. It's specifically designed for deploying multi-agent systems. It turns each agent into a web service for you, and it runs a message queue and an orchestrator for you, allowing you to develop and scale each agent independently and process many tasks in parallel. It comes with this nifty debugging tool, which runs in your command line, but is somehow also a clickable GUI. Don't ask me how that works, it's magic. But it lets you see all of your agents and what messages they're passing. Let's see how we go about using Llama agents. First, we create a tool for our agents to use. Then we create two agents by passing in a set of tools and an LLM for an agent to use. So far, this is just like regular Llama Index, as we were showing you how to create tools before. Next, we set up our message queue client and two agent services, one on port 8002 and one on 8003. We're doing these all in the same file, but we could do them separately if we wanted, so we could deploy them separately. And finally, we're ready for our control plane. It uses an LLM to do the orchestration between agents, so we pass that in, and we give it the references to our agents, and then we launch it. You can monitor it using that nifty GUI tool by launching the monitor from the command line using that command at the bottom. And that's it. You've got your agents deployed and ready, and you can add all the tools and functionality you want, and as many agents as you need. We look forward to seeing all the stuff that you build, and you can get access to all of these slides at this link by following the QR code or the link at the bottom. That also includes a bunch of other resources to get you started on your hacking. Good luck and happy hacking, and thanks for your time and attention.
Thank you very much, Laurie. I see that there is a question, or more like an issue someone is encountering with deploying Llama on the GCP server. This person says that we need to request a GCP for extra quotas, and also there's some cost related to it. Is it something you can answer right now?
It's not something I can answer right now, but if they get in touch with me on Discord, I can look at it.
Okay, and there's one more. Can we use LangChain or LangChain together through Llama Index?
You can use those two in concert, but everything that LangChain does, Llama Index also does, so we recommend just using Llama Index.
Okay, and I'll just answer one quick question. Yes, this stream is going to be available later on YouTube and on Twitter. Sorry, on Twitch. So you'll be able to rewatch it later. Okay, I don't see any more questions for now. So thank you very much, Lori, again. And we will move on to our next guest. Stefan Batifol, the developer advocate from Zilis, will tell us more about Milvus, what it is, and how you can start working with it.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to hear that you're joining for this Llama 3 Hackathon. And I hope you're going to have a lot of fun, and I'm sure you're going to build amazing things during this hackathon. I am Stefan Batifol. I'm a developer advocate at Zilis and Milvus. I'm going to try my best to help you during this hackathon. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on my email or on my LinkedIn or also on Twitter. Also, because I'm sure some of you will build fantastic things. If there are questions that I can't reply to, then I will also put you in touch with our engineering team directly. But maybe you don't know what Milvus is, so I'm here to tell you a bit about that. So Milvus is a high-performance vector database that is built for scale. It's fully open source, actually belongs to the Linux Foundation. So yes, you can build anything on top of it. You can use it for everything, and we'll make sure that we scale to billion-plus vectors. So as I said, it's fully open source and it's really built for Gen AI application. You can install it with a pip install, and then you can really scale to billions and billions of vectors. So you should go on milvus.io. Then if you don't know how it works, you can click on the get started. You will arrive in your quick start. And then you can see, you can like start with a pip install, PyMilvus, and then we'll tell you how to set up a vector database, how to create a collection, and we're really showing you, the basics of how to use a vector database. So then we'll also show you how to do semantic search and different things like that. So yes, feel free to check out our documentation. We will really try to explain everything that is possible. And we'll try to make it as accessible as we can as well. But I'm here to tell you a bit more about how you can use Milvus with Llama Index and Llama 3. So I have a notebook here that I'm going to show you. And the idea is that I'm going to show you how to build a RAG application with Milvus, Llama 3, and Llama Index. And RAG, for the people that don't know, is Retrieval Augmented Generation. And it's here to force an LLM to work with your data. And you do that by injecting your data in a vector database like Milvus. Because, sometimes your LLM, they don't have access to your private data, or they don't have access to the latest news that is happening sometimes. So it's very, very useful to be able to inject it with your own data. Let's say you work in a company, then you don't want the LLM to be trained on that. So that's when you're going to use RAG. And to show you a bit of the architecture so you understand better, this is the classic RAG architecture. So you have your data. Then you're going to extract the content of your data, and then you provide some chunking. So chunking is just dividing the content that you have in specific sections. So it can be every 100 characters, for example, you create a new chunk, or every 200 characters, or you define that. Then you're going to put that through an embedding model, and then you're going to store everything in Milvus. Once you have your user, your user is also doing something similar. So they're also going to run a query that is then going to go through the same embedding models. For the same embedding models, then you run a semantic search in Milvus. Then we're going to return you the similar data. And we put that back in the context of the LLM. And then the LLM will give you a response. And that's basically what RAG is. So that's how you can then inject your personal data into an LLM. I'm going to show you then, how you can install Milvus, how you can do everything like that. So I have a pip install PyMilvus. So yes, I'm just installing it. And then I'm using Milvus and Llama Index. So, I'm going to install all the dependencies that I need. So it's Llama Index with GenAI embeddings, because I'm going to use those. Also, like how to read a file. I'm also installing Llama, because I'm going to use Llama to run Llama 3 on my laptop directly, so I can run everything locally. And then, I need to install the Llama Index, LLM or Llama. And I'm also going to install Milvus, directly, which is the integration with the Llama Index. So then I'm also installing wget, so, I can then check and get the data that I want. So let's do that. We're installing everything. So installing some packages. And then also installing, the embeddings from Hugging Face. Because the embeddings from Gina, I'm actually going to get those directly from Hugging Face. So we're installing everything. We're happy. And here, I'm going to use the Hugging Face embeddings, and then I'm going to load the Gina AI embeddings directly there. So I'm going to use those ones, and I'm going to use the English version because my documents are in English. But if my documents were to be in another language, then it's usually better to find embeddings that have been trained on this language. So let's just go for those. We are downloading it, and then I'm just printing, the length of my embeddings because it's going to be useful when I'm going to create my collection later on. I need that when I create my Milvus collection. So we can see like the length is 768. So we just have to keep that in mind, or we can store it somewhere, and then when we create our collection, we can use this value. So I am gonna load some data that is from WeWork, and that is I'm gonna show you what it is, what it looks like. So this is the data. It's United States Securities and Exchange Commission about WeWork, and then that's just like something related to WeWork and the stock markets basically. So it's quite long, but yeah, we're gonna download that. So we're getting it, and then I'm just saving it into WeWork PDF because it is quite long as a name, So then I can show you. It looks like that. This is 169 pages long, and it's the same document that we had before. So once I have that, I'm happy. But then it's what I told you before, you need to then extract the data and then create your chunks. So that's what we're going to do now using Llama Index. So I have my simple directory reader, and here I'm just saying, please load the data from WeWork PDF, .pdf, and then load it, and then store everything in a variable that is called docs. So this takes a bit of time because you have like a lot of pages, but then we can see that we have 169. The length of docs is 169 because we had 169 pages. Now we've extracted the contents page per page, and what we're going to do now is create some chunks. So just for the sake of the demo now, I'm just going to create some chunks of 100 with what we call an overlap of 20. So that means that for every 100 characters, then I'm splitting the data, and then I'm taking 20 characters before and 20 characters after. So let's do that. I have my base splitter, my sentence splitter, chunk size of 100, overlap of 20, and then I'm getting the nodes, and then I just want to print them to you so you can understand a bit better. So this is what it looks like. This is like one element. You can see like the Security Exchanges Act of 1934, blah, 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 blah. And then you have another element, and then you have another element, and that's basically how it works. So for every 100 characters, then you create a chunk. But that's cool, but like for now, you just basically read a PDF and extracted some content, but that's it. So like now I'm going to show you how you can interact with it, how you can store it in Milvus, and how you can use an LLM with that. So I'm going to load my data in Milvus, but for that, also I'm defining the LLM that I want to use. So as I said, I'm using Llama, so I can run everything locally. And then I'm also using Milvus Vector Store, the integration we have directly with Llama Index. I'm using Gen AI embeddings, and here is where I define that I'm going to use the Llama 3 model. So I'm just saying, please use the Llama 3 model with a request time out of 120 seconds. I'm using the Gen AI embeddings, as I said before, and here I'm creating the service context. So that's why I basically define everything. So I am calling my LLM, which is Llama 3, my Gen AI embedding models, and I'm just defining a chunk size of 512 with an overlap of 100. It's just, sometimes it depends on your data, depends on what you want to do, but that helps you having a better understanding of what's happening, basically. Because if your chunks are too small, then it's hard for your LLM to know what's happening and to really get the context. I'm defining my vector store, so I'm defining Milvus vector store, I'm just saying, please create a file locally, so that way everything will run locally on your machine. And if you were to deploy, Milvus directly on Kubernetes or having Docker, you just have to change this URI here, and that's it. For the collection name, you can choose whatever you want, and the dimension is 768 because it's the dimension of the embedding model, of the output we have. So yeah, let's go. Let's get started. And then here I'm just saying, please, for this one, you're going to use what I've defined here, which is a Milvus vector store. So it seems like that's it. We've loaded our data, we defined it, and now we can load the data directly into Milvus. So that's what we're doing here. From all the documents, from the 169 pages we have, we're going to make sure we're using GenAI embeddings. We're going to use Llama 3, and then we're going to store everything in Milvus. So that's basically what's happening here. It's going to take a bit of time, because you have 169 documents, and then you have a lot of chunks as well to process and to insert. But now it should be done. So I am then now calling the retrieval tool, and I'm just saying, please retrieve the top 3 elements, and I'm just defining, the name, it's a custom retriever, and then it's just going to retrieve some relevant information for the document that I provide. So let's go. We define it. And now that's the start of the fun. I can start, with my query engine, and I can ask questions about my document. Can you tell me, for example, one that I have here is, can you tell me about WeWork, what they do, and who they are? So let's see if actually, we're getting the response. So what's happening now is that my query is then going through the embedding model, the GenAI embedding models that I've defined. Then we're running the query in Milvus. We're doing a semantic search. Then we give the context back to the LLM, and then the LLM will give you the answer. So that's what's happening now. So it can be a bit slow, depending, on your laptop and everything, and the LLM you're running, because then the LLM also has to generate the text, and it has to integrate what you said and everything. But it looks like we have a response, so let's see. So it's saying WeWork is a company that provides shared workspace and services for entrepreneurs, freelancer startups. They offer a range of spaces, blah, 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 which is true, That's what WeWork is doing. And then, as for who they are, WeWork is a global company with a presence of 120 cities, blah, 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 blah. So we can see, that we're getting some information about WeWork thanks to the documents we just added now. And in the documents, I'm just going to show you, there are also there's a section which is the risk factor. So here, you can see it here. So I'm just asking a specific question about the risk factor to see if I can actually get the answer for that, So let's go. So it's the same. My query gets embedded through the embedding model, and then we do, vector similarity, and then we give that back to the LLM. So let's just wait up until we have an answer, and hopefully it should work and shouldn't be too long. Yes, perfect. So then the risk factor that could impact WeWork, include lack of assurance in improving its liquidity position and profitability. And then you can read more and more. But yes, basically that's it. That's how we can create a very quick RAG application using Llama Index, Milvus, and Llama 3. The code is available directly on my GitHub. So it's Stefan37/Milvus demo, and then you can go directly in the Llama Index demos, and then you can use the code directly. Everything is available. So I hope you like this tutorial. I hope you like this introduction. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly on LinkedIn or on Twitter, or by email as well if you prefer. And yes, I hope you have an amazing hackathon. I hope you do amazing things with Milvus. Thank you very much again, and good luck, everyone.
Thank you, Stefan. I'm sure that this will be super helpful during this hackathon. Guys, if you have any questions to Stefan, please use the social media he mentioned in the talk. And before we will move on to the next guest, I have 2 questions for Laurie. First one, can we use Llama Index and Milvus Vector DB together?
Yes, you absolutely can. They work great together. If you just search our documentation for Milvus, you will find links to the Milvus Vector Store and a demonstration about how to use it.
All right. And one more, can we deploy Llama 3 on any other server for free instead of GCP?
There are lots of places that you can deploy Llama 3. You can also deploy it locally using OLlama, so you don't have to pay anybody at all, and you can just run it on your laptop.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. All right, then we will move on to our next guest. Hassan El Mahari is the Senior Manager of Developer Relations in Together AI, and he would like to share a few words from their side and tell you how you can access the Together AI credits. I bet many of you have been waiting for that, right? Hi, Hassan. How are you doing today?
Hey, doing good. Thanks for having me. I'm here to tell you all a little bit about Together.ai, and then I'll get into some of the credits at the end. Yeah, Together.ai, it's a great way to power your AI applications. We basically do three things. We do inference, embeddings, and fine-tuning. Inference for things like generating text with Llama 3, which is, the purpose of this hackathon. We also, have code models. We do images with Stable Diffusion, a lot of other stuff for our inference API. For our embeddings, we let you generate, vectors that you can store in vector databases, like Zillus. And yeah, just to build RAG applications. And then we also let you do fine tuning. So you can also fine tune Llama 3 on your own data if you want to. This is great timing for the hackathon. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. We just released a few different versions of Llama 3 actually yesterday with our new inference engine. For those that don't know, we have a really big team of researchers and they've worked on this great Together inference engine. It's about 4 times faster than open source solutions like the LLM and even outperforms a lot of commercial solutions by more than 2x. And so we've kind of released 3 versions of Llama 3. We have Llama 3, we're calling them light, turbo, and reference models. So reference models are kind of full precision models. Turbo is, the fastest kind of models. It's like quantized to FP8, and then light is int4. So you can kind of choose between these. Very affordable pricing as well, especially for light. It's at 10 cents per 1 million tokens. And so if each query is 1,000 tokens, using Llama 3 8B Lite, we actually give you $5 of free credits when you join the platform. So that's just kind of a given. But even using those $5, you can send 50,000 queries to Llama 3 8B. And still not run out of your $5, which is pretty great. For the credits for this hackathon specifically, you can you should have received an email if you're one of the first 250 teams that signed up. And then everybody clicking that link and filling out the form, we're giving credits to. So everybody that has filled out that form should have received credits. Already you get about $50 in credits, and then our prize is $2,500 in credits at the end. But yeah, we have all these Llama 3 models. You can check it out. We have a very nice SDK where you can kind of import it, instantiate it. It's OpenAI compatible, so you've probably seen this format before. And then you can specify your model. Like I said, you specify we're using Llama 3 8B instruct turbo here. And you can send it a message, stream equals true, and then you can kind of iterate over the stream and print things out. So we can go ahead and run that example, and we get some text about the Chicago Bulls. And the same thing kind of for code examples. We have, you can kind of autocomplete code. You can generate images. You can generate embeddings, which is probably relevant for this hackathon because we have Llama Index and Zillus kind of co-sponsoring, and they all work great together, by the way. I highly recommend you guys use Llama Index as your framework. You use Together AI for inference, for generating embeddings, and for calling Llama 3, and then you store your vectors on Zillus, so you can kind of use everything together. Last thing I want to call out is you can actually also do fine-tuning on our platform, and it's pretty straightforward if you have your data. In this case, I have a bunch of math problems, and so I have questions and I have answers. The questions over here is in the instruction, and then answer over here. And I can fine tune a Llama 3 model on this exact data. And so I can just upload to Together AI, kick off my fine-tuning job, and actually get a new fine-tuned model. And we actually did this. I went and fine-tuned Llama 3 on a bunch of math problems, and we actually ended up raising the accuracy from 47% to 65%. It got over 90% of the performance of GPT-4 at a fraction of the cost, with Llama 3. So that is my pitch. You can sign up at together.ai for an account and get an API key and just go and start calling Llama 3 or fine-tuning Llama 3 or generating embeddings. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm looking at the questions in the chat. There's one that I'm not sure if I should direct to Lori or to you, Hassan. Can you run custom fine-tuned Llama models? Can you use GGML format, for example, with Llama CPP?
That is, I don't think that's especially related to Together AI or Llama Index, but yeah, you can. That's the beauty of Llama 3. It's open source. You can run it in a lot of different ways. And so llama.ccp, Llama C++ is one of those ways.
All right. Thank you very much for all of you. Now, moving on, let me tell you a few words about the challenge. Llama 3 is Meta's newest language model designed to better understand and generate text. It's an upgrade from the previous versions with improved abilities to comprehend, manage context, and create content. Llama 3 aims to set new standards in AI, performing well in tasks like chatbots, content creation, and data analysis. And the challenge for this hackathon is pretty straightforward. We want you to create AI application using Llama 3 technology. No restraints, no limits. Use your creativity, get inspired with your experience or market needs. It's all up to you. And we are going to judge you based on 4 criteria. Application of technology, so how effectively you integrated chosen models into the solution, the potential impact and the business value, the originality and creativity in addressing the challenge, and the final pitch presentation of your project. And our partners provided some amazing prizes for you. First of all, Lablab Next will grant best teams the fast-track interview towards their accelerator, helping you to build the MVP, providing guidance and mentorship to put your solution into the market. Llama Index will choose their favorites and gift them with $1,000 in cash. For the best use of Together AI technology, you can get $2,500 in Together AI credits. And last but not least, Zillis prepared up to 4 Beats headphones and Zillis swag for the Milvus Most Wow Factor. Additionally, as we mentioned before, for the first 250 teams who signed up for Llama 3 Hackathon, Together AI will supercharge your project with credits worth $50. This will be distributed today, but to get them, please make sure that you have an active Together AI account and that your registration email matches the one that you used on Lablab.ai platform. For this hackathon, we also prepared for you 3 tutorials, and you can find them on our Lablab.ai platform. In the navigation bar, go to AI tutorials, and you should find them there. So don't forget to check it out. In this part, I'll walk you through the process of taking part in the hackathon. But before that, I would like to ask people in the chat, tell me please, who is here for the first time and who already took part in our hackathons? And if it's more than one hackathon, you can just type the number. For those who are here for the first time, I would recommend you to listen carefully because those steps I will be talking about will help you to find the teams and submit your project. First of all, I would like you to meet our amazing mentors who will be assisting you throughout the whole hackathon. You can ask not only technical questions, but also those business related. So don't hesitate to contact them. They will be waiting for you in the dedicated Discord channels that I will list for you later on. Now, how to take part in the hackathon. First of all, you need to either join the team or create your own. You can, of course, make the project solo, but trust me, it's much more fun if you can share that experience with others. And when you already have the team, create your private Discord channel to be able to communicate. You can use different communication channels, it's up to you, but remember that all the support that we provide during this hackathon will happen there, and it's easier to contact mentors. We recommend you to come up with 2-3 concepts for your application and then ask mentors for review, for feedback, and for the green light to start your project. From that moment, start building your prototype, cooperate with each other, deliver tasks, and at the end of the hackathon, submit your solutions and product presentation on Lablab.ai platform. Remember that the presentation is very important because, first of all, it will create the first impression of your product on the judges. But also, if you will decide to continue developing your product after this hackathon, and that's the goal for many of you today, this will be a great pitch for your future investors or customers. Let me know if there are any concerns about the steps that I just mentioned. Did you already find the teams or are you still looking? Is there anything what we can do to make that experience smoother for you? Please let me know in the chat. It's really important for us to know. And now I'm going to get a bit deeper into explaining some of the points and share screens from the platform. Creating a profile on Lablab.ai and filling it up with the important information is crucial. First of all, because you may encounter some issues with submitting your project if you don't fill it up properly. For example, if you don't provide your Discord username, you won't be able to see the teams that are still looking for team members. And second of all, Lablab.ai is a great space for networking, and your profile is basically like your portfolio, so it will be visible for your future teammates, not only for this one, but for also for upcoming hackathons. So share your achievements, share your social media, make it yours. After creating your account and enrolling to the hackathon, you will see on your dashboard the button to create a new team. But if you're looking for a team, just scroll down and you will see the list of the teams that are currently looking for team members and just ask them to join. If your team has already 2 or more team members, you will be able to create a Discord channel that will become the main communication channel not only for you, but will also allow mentors to communicate with your team. And talking about the mentors, they are available for you throughout the whole hackathon on the general Lablab Discord server. And so go there, go to I Need Help channel and use tag mentor for technical or business advice. Additionally, you will have on your team page the button Call for Help. Then mentors will get a notification and will jump into your channel as soon as they can. There are many Discord channels that might be useful for you throughout the hackathon. There are channels where you can ask for help, look for important information, but also those when you can introduce yourself to the community and many, many more. So make sure to check what's there. I'm sure that you will find something for yourself. All right. At the end of the hackathon, you'll have to submit your project. And what we require from you is the product description, pitch presentation, and the GitHub link with the demo. And you can do that throughout the submission form on your team page. Remember that the presentation cannot be longer than 5 minutes, and please make sure that your link demo is working, because if we will be missing any of the deliverables, your project won't be eligible for evaluation. If you need any help, visit those 2 channels, Llama 3 Hackathon and I Need Help, and tag our mentors so they can easily filter your queries. Now, since we got through the platform walkthrough, let's watch Fabian's GitHub guide for beginners.
Hello and welcome everyone. In this tutorial I will show you how to use GitHub for your hackathon project. So let's get started. First, head over to github.com and create a new account with the sign up button right here. I've already done this, so after you completed the sign up, you will come to this site. And this is basically the GitHub main page. And right here, to create a new repository, you can go to the top left to this plus icon right here and click New Repository. Next, you need to select an owner, just select yourself in this case. Then you can give your repository a name. So for now, I will just go with Hackathon Test Project. You can give a small description to your project. You can decide whether you want your repository to be public, so visible to everyone, or private. Private means that it's just visible to you and collaborators you add. You can add a README file, so tell people what your repository actually is. You can add a git ignore file to ignore files that should not be uploaded to our version control. I will go over these a little bit later, so for now we will just click create a repository. And as a next step, I want to show you how you can actually add collaborators to your project, because most of the time you will be working in a small team. So you can just go over to the settings, then on the left side collaborators, and then down here just add people. Then you can enter a username, full name or email. For now I will just take someone from the Lablab development team. So I will click him and add him to the repository. We can see right here that the invite is pending, so he will receive an email and also a GitHub notification that he got invited to this repository. Okay, so next let's look at git ignore files. I've created here on the right side a small sample project with just one Python file and one env file. So this right here is an example for an API key that you don't want to be publicly available on GitHub in your repository. So let's exclude this env file from our version control. To do this, we will create a new file that's called gitignore. And in this gitignore file, we can just type in the name of the file we don't want to be uploaded to GitHub. So on this file it's .env. And to actually confirm that this will not upload to GitHub, we will use the command git init to create a new Git repository locally on our machine. And right here we can see that these two files now got added to our repository, so it's just main.py and the gitignore file, but not our .env file. So let's upload this to GitHub. We can use these commands right here to actually upload it a little bit faster. So first we will add all our files and we will create our first commit, switch on the main branch, add the remote origin, and then push all files to our remote repository. Let's refresh our GitHub right here. And now you can see that we have both of these files right here, and our .env file is excluded from our Git repository. Okay, so next let's look at how to actually host your project so people can see it all around the world. So right here we have three different platforms. Vercel, this is great for all kinds of web applications, mostly JavaScript, but also Python. You can just click here start deploying, connect your GitHub, and then after it's connected you can just select your repository right here, and most of the time it's actually a zero config deployment, so you can just hit deploy and everything will work out of the box. So that's great for JavaScript and Python web projects. Then next is Replit. On Replit you can basically host any code in any language and you can run it in the browser, so it's super useful. And the last thing is Streamlit. Streamlit is great for Python applications. You have some really good components you can use to actually create a web application really fast and easy. I hope this small guide was very helpful for you. You can also find this in written form on our Lablab.ai tutorial page. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
Hope that this quick workshop was useful for you. You can always get back to it and rewatch it. As I mentioned before, the stream is going to be available on our Twitch and YouTube channels. And I saw a few questions in the chat. Hassan, could you please tell a little bit more about the credits? Are they going to be still available after the hackathon? And there's also one question about the Outlook emails. Can you be registered with an Outlook email to get the credits?
Yeah, great question. For credits, they never expire. So any credits that we give out to you all for Together AI, they don't expire. You can use them for other projects and other things after the hackathon. And on the second email, we actually only allow sign in with Google and sign in with GitHub for right now. So if you do have an Outlook email, you can email me at Hassan@together.ai, HASSAN @together.ai, and I can manually give you credits. And also I just want to clarify that every single person that signs up to the platform will get $5 of credits, which again is enough for 50,000 requests to Llama 3 8B and more than 10,000 requests to Llama 3 7DB. So everyone should be pretty set with just the free credits they get, but also the first 250 teams that signed up also got a link to apply for another $50 of credits. And we're going through and giving access to everybody who filled that out in the next 30 minutes.
All right, great. Thank you very much. There's one more question I think I could answer. What do you mean by the link demo? Do you mean if it needs to be a video format? Well, you need to upload your video presentation plus the link to the working prototype. So this is what we mean by the link for the demo. Hope that this answers your question. And moving on, before we'll start wrapping up this kickoff, don't forget to follow our social media to stay up to date with all the announcements, not only for this one, for the future hackathons. You can find us on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, Facebook, and on Discord. And also don't forget to sign up for the future hackathons. There is a big event coming. The Falcon Hackathon will start 26th of July, and you will have a chance to be the first one to try new AI71 API Hub that is launching right before the kickoff. Let me check if there are any more questions in the chat, but I don't think so. So I would like to encourage you to jump on Discord channel because the Q&A session will start shortly in around 30 minutes. And once again, I would like to say big thank you to our today's guests and to you for being here. We are very proud to have such an amazing community. And I would like to wish you happy hacking, good luck, and we see each other on the winner stream. Bye.